and thank you for joining me today. I'm Danette, a counselor with the Counseling Collective, and because April is National Alcohol Awareness Month, I wanted to start with a simple truth that many people don't talk enough about. Alcohol addiction doesn't just affect one person, it affects the entire family. And when one person is struggling with alcohol, everyone around them begins to adjust, often quietly and often without realizing it. The family system begins to shift. Roles change, emotions get pushed down, life slowly begins to revolve around the drinking, and it's important to point this out. Families don't cause alcohol addiction, but they are deeply impacted by it. From a mental health perspective, alcohol addiction is not just about the lack of willpower or bad decisions. It's often connected to deeper struggles like anxiety, depression, trauma, or emotional pain that has not been processed. So instead of just asking, why the drinking, we begin to ask, what pain might this person be trying to manage? Because for many people, alcohol becomes a way to cope, a way to take the edge off, to numb difficult emotions, or to escape, if only for a moment. But while one person is drinking, the family is also adapting. You might start to notice certain roles taking shape. There's often the one who tries to fix everything, covering, managing, holding it all together behind the scenes. Another might keep the peace at all costs, avoiding conflict just to prevent an argument or escalation. Sometimes there's the overachiever, trying to make the family look okay from the outside. And often there's someone who quietly withdraws, shutting down emotionally because it all feels too heavy. Maybe you can identify with one of these roles. These aren't character flaws, these are survival skills. But over time, they can take a toll on mental health. Families living with alcohol addiction often carry a constant undercurrent of anxiety, wondering, how much have they had? What kind of night is this going to be? There can be guilt, shame, frustration, exhaustion, and a sense of walking on eggshells, never quite able to relax. And then there are the patterns that develop, the things that slowly become normal, even when they're not healthy. Silence, avoidance, making excuses, covering up for missed responsibilities, trying to help but not always knowing where the line is between helping and enabling. Without even realizing it, families can begin to organize their lives around drinking. Plans get canceled depending on someone's mood or intoxication level. Conversations are avoided at certain times of day. Energy gets poured into managing the situation instead of caring for themselves. But here's the hopeful part. Healing is possible, not just for the person struggling with alcohol, but for the family too. And healing often starts with awareness. It begins with recognizing these patterns and gently asking, what do I need in this situation? It means learning boundaries are not selfish, they're necessary. It means understanding that your mental and emotional health matters too. And maybe most importantly, it's remembering this. You didn't cause the drinking, you can't control it, and you can't cure it. But you can take steps to care for yourself within it. You can seek support, you can speak honestly, you can begin to step out of patterns that no longer serve you. Because alcohol addiction may be part of your family's story, but it does not have to define the ending. And sometimes the very first step toward healing is simply breaking the silence. And for those of you who hold faith, there is this truth. God is not absent in the chaos. He sees the silent burdens, the late night worries, the moments where you feel helpless or overwhelmed. Scripture reminds us that God is close to the brokenhearted and near to those who are crushed in spirit. Even in families affected by alcohol addiction, there is still grace, there is still hope, there is still the possibility of restoration. You may not be able to fix everything, but you are not walking through this alone. And sometimes healing begins not in having all the answers, but in surrendering what we cannot carry and trusting God with what we cannot change. And if you are seeking help to find emotional healing in the chaos of addiction, please reach out to a counselor who specializes in addiction to meet you where you are. Thank you for joining me today.